What is up, Cowboys Nation? I'd like to say good evening, early morning, whatever time it is, where you're at. Absolutely embarrassing ending to that game, man. This team, I mean, anyone who hasn't lived, I lived through that Leon Lett day, and it was flashes of it, and I knew as soon as we blocked that punt, I don't know how you guys felt about it, but I knew someone was going to touch it, and absolutely crushing, inexcusable. They know it. Those guys know it. Fossil, it's always something with him. If you're calling a damn block, then you better make sure all your guys know over and over, do not touch the ball if we block it, and they did. And I just I don't get it, man. I'm so frustrated. I could have threw a shoe through the TV. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but that one definitely hurt, man. What's up, Vince? What's up, Rick? And it was a good game, man. That defense, I'm telling you, this defense has been playing their ass off, getting them back. They were able to hold them down a little bit and contain them the best you could. You knew the Bengals were going to get what they're going to get. I mean, Chase is one of the best receivers. Burrow, one of the best quarterbacks. I could do without my man Troy Aikman. I'm wearing his jersey, and I got his jersey hanging up on my wall with this freaking, just absolutely kissing the ass of the Bengals. I was getting a little bit tired of that. I don't know about you guys, but I love Aikman, so I'm gonna let that slide. But it was just, this whole game, man. And yeah, you got to hope Overshown. That didn't look good. That did not look good. And I hope he's okay. But again, it's Fossil. I wasn't even wanting a block. I saw them setting up for, getting on the line. I just said, get a safe return. You've got Turpin in there. Let him do his thing. What is it? Pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. And I just thought, just going after it too much. And I understand. I mean, Cooper Rush, not a very good quarterback, obviously. And maybe that was the concern. So if you're going to go for the block punt, then damn it, you need to make sure every guy on that field knows exactly what the hell's going on and do not touch the damn ball. I mean, that's 101. I was screaming it as soon as it happened. Like I said, man, it definitely hurt. Definitely hurt. And then CeeDee Lamb, I'm sorry to rant, but CeeDee Lamb, 71 yards in the first quarter, and then it just disappear, and they don't even try and get him the ball. And I just don't understand how you don't get your playmakers the ball. You had a tremendous kudos to Rico, man. Absolutely great running game. And you heard it early on in the season, people are saying, well, it's the line. Well, our line has been hurt and been decimated, but what the difference is they're giving that ball to Rico and they're feeding him and they're letting him get in the groove. They're letting him get going, and he's getting better and better. And that's what running backs need: carries. They can't go in there for 2 carries and then don't see the ball for 3 more series. Then you bring another guy in, you do this running back by committee with 3 different guys. You can have a thunder and lightning, but you need to have a lead dog, and definitely on him, but just embarrassing for Fossil, and yeah, coaching, that's been their Achilles heel to me with special teams. I know Fossil gets a lot of love and this and that, but some of the things with the fake punts where they called it and they let the guys call it and it was disastrous, and then you get something like this that happens, game on the line. The defense absolutely played their ass off on that last drive. I mean, you had them way back. It was 4th and 20, whatever it was, 25. And all you're going to do is give the ball to Turpin, let him try and make some, or you're in the kicker's head and he's going to shank it. He's going to do something, and you get the block, and then you just you fuck it up. I mean, I got no other ways to say that. And it is just infuriating to me that happened. And I had to get on here, and that Diggs wasn't bad. I mean, Chase got a lot outside of that. I thought the secondary for what you're going against, and obviously Diggs coming back off an injury, for what you were going against, I thought they played well. You're going to give Cincinnati their points. I mean, they had 20 points. I'm not even counting that last one because I mean the team was distraught. The defense was basically distraught after that. It was bullshit. But I thought the defense played fine. The defense played good enough to win that game, and I will say that. Yeah, Tolbert, the Tolbert's got to go. I mean that's not. I mean he's not the future. He's not the future. So Micah knows what's coming. His year's about to be over. Yeah, I mean this is the one game they had to win if they were going to have any shot. I mean they're going to have Philly. They're going to have Philly, and that was a game that on the road you figured they were going to probably lose that one. But this pretty much seals the deal. Not enough pressure early on Burrow. I'll give you that. They did come up late. They had some key stops. That's what I'm saying. I am nowhere near putting this on the defense at all. Fossil with the fake punts that didn't work. Now this inexcusable. It's like I said, man, it's 101. If you're calling a block punt and you're calling the rush, you need to emphasize to your guys one more time, do not freaking touch the ball. If it's blocked, do not touch it. There was no reason for him to touch it. You're going to get the ball inside the 40 and there's just no reason for it. No reason, and disappointing. So their defense played all right. I mean, their run defense didn't play very well. I mean, Rico had the game of his life. I think they got pressure on Cooper, but I think Cooper helped out that defense more than the defense played great or played well. Cooper rush is just a problem. I mean, and I get it. I mean, we got our backup. I mean, you're not expecting, a guy to come out and be the dog, but it just, yeah. I mean, he is. That's why I said if Dak ever went down for a long-term injury, Trey Lance must really suck. I mean, he has to, which makes it even that trade even worse. But at least with Trey Lance, you have some ceiling and upside. Cooper Rush, you know what you're going to get. You need him for a game, fine, but he's not going to be the guy that's going to get you, down the stretch. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, he played bad. And played scared. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for, my man. Thank you. He played scared. I mean, it was like you have the ball with a minute left and you're throwing 5-yard passes. I mean, why? Just throw it into the ground. You might as well save your timeouts. So, yeah, there you go. He's garbage. He's not an NFL starting quarterback. I mean, he's a backup. And, if you need him in a pinch, he can manage the game and he can do that, but he's not going to win you a game. And right now we need somebody to win us a game. And like I said, I know the team tank is happy. We lost. I don't like losing, man. I just don't. I do not like losing. And if I would have had if you would have had the live feed of me when that punt happened, and hopefully some fans felt the same way, because you got to have passion for your team, man. You got to want them to win. And, it is what it is. I guess they got a better draft pick now. And I think, it's going to, their fate is pretty much probably going to be sealed. They're going to have to win out for any prayer, be 9-8, and then hope some things fall their way. But I just don't see that. I don't see it happening. There we go. Holy terror. I knew you were going to be on my side. Yeah, maybe an assistant manager, not even a game manager. You're probably right, Mike. But it's just it's frustrating. It's frustrating, and appreciate everyone jumping in. It's all when the Cowboys lose, everyone comes to the cave. I got like 500 people in here listening. And if you are, I do have a fun channel, man. Kelly and I mix it up, so I'm going to use this time to let people who don't know go over to YouTube and hit that subscribe, like, and share. We have a lot of fun. We had a great show pregame, a lot of energy. We had some high hopes. Some people were negative, but, we thought maybe the Cowboys can pull this off. But, and I'll tell you this, it was humbling this year. I'm a season ticket holder, and, Jerry gets some money ahead of time. So all you guys say, don't go to the game. It's what am I supposed to do? I always keep my tickets few weeks before in case I change my mind. If the team's hot, I'll figure out a way to go to the game. And obviously things went south. So the Giants game, Thanksgiving, didn't go, was planning on it. So thankfully I hooked up a buddy of mine with the tickets, gave him a great deal on it. He had a great time and it was good. And I had the Bengals and then couldn't sell the Bengals, man. I had them down less than half price. Couldn't even sell them. So I gave them to my man Mark, who's always good to me. He always picks me up at the airport when I need a ride, and he's a great friend. More importantly than that, so I hooked him up with those tickets, but I couldn't even sell them. So I know the fan base is hurting, and a game like this, when you won 2 in a row, Cincinnati, I know their record's not great, but they're a good football team. And if you would have went in and we would have won that game, I think the energy of the Cowboy fans would have been. I think there would have been a lot of rejuvenation, a lot of hype, and I think it would have been a fun stretch to the end of the year, right? I mean, they played Carolina, they played Tampa. Those teams, obviously, they fight, but I mean, they're winnable games. Then, of course, Washington, who we've owned. So you feel pretty good. And it would have been a lot of fun. It would have been, I'm not saying it's over, but this game was really pivotal to see if this team can make it interesting. Now, were they going to the Super Bowl? No. Obviously, you don't have your quarterback. But I liked what I was seeing in this defense getting healthy. And you kind of see what Mike Zimmer was able to do when he's at full strength and kind of get his system in place. So it felt kind of good to where maybe next year, whatever happens with the coaching staff, whatever, you got players who cared. And I'll give Micah Parsons his due. He's someone who gives a shit. I mean, you saw him after that. You saw him after the game, just walking off the field in a quick manner. I mean, he cares, and you want that in your players. I mean, it's really, like I said, you guys want to be the Giants. I mean, Cowboys, you want to sit through the Giants games and just watch players that just don't care, watch coaching staff that just doesn't care, that knows they're done, and sit through that misery. I don't. So the thing I would say is these players care, and the defense in particular, they care. And I'd say for the offense, I know CD, Rico, I mean, those guys, the offensive line, you can see they care. And it's been a rough year for the Cowboys. Injuries, you don't want to make excuses, but they've had just so many injuries. You can only overcome so much. And what I wanted to see in this team is, are they going to fight? Do we have quitters on this team? Are they going to be playing their hearts out the rest of the way? And they have. I mean, they have. They lost a tough game. It'll be interesting. I'm going to be in Carolina this weekend. It's going to be interesting to see how they rebound. Is this going to be kind of the game that really, puts the fork in them? And I think the rest of the year you kind of go. But, so anyway, so we'll see what happens. Am I on Rico? I like Rico. I'm on the Rico train. I don't know. I don't think he's a starter. Like, I don't think he's our future back, but what I would say is I like what Rico's done. And I like the way the offensive line has performed, even with the injuries, how they've kind of continued to battle young offensive line. I think the future is bright for that offensive line. I do think they need a running back. Yeah, I don't know if I want Aikman as a GM. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not like the way he was talking about my Cowboys. I did not like how he was just sucking up to Joe Burrow the whole night, and then changing calls and trying to call him a face. Why didn't they call the face mask? Well, they didn't call a face mask on us early in the game. He didn't bring that up. I'm only kidding. I love Troy Aikman. As you know, I got my Aikman jersey. I'm looking at my signed Aikman jersey framed in there. So I love Aikman. I just wish he was a little bit more positive on the Cowboys during that game. But I know he's got to be non-biased. Just summed up. It did. I mean, Chris, you've probably summed it up best, man. I think this season, what happened tonight is basically that's our season in a nutshell, man. You start out, they started out with that first drive, stumbled along, gave up a couple plays back and forth, and then made you feel good, and then they absolutely ripped your heart right out and just made you so sad. And it's like, how could this happen? And it's just disappointing. It's so disappointing. block punt. We only had to give the ball back to Cincinnati. Yeah. So everyone I'm gone. I don't think everyone wanted him gone. I think everyone said we needed either a lead dog or move on and find one. Do I think Rico is the future? No. Do I think he could be a top NFL running back? No. I equate him to Troy Hambrick. If any of you guys remember Troy Hambrick, that's kind of what I think Rico's career will be. He was a backup for a while. He got an opportunity after Emmitt Smith left. He had a decent year. He was always kind of good as a backup and kind of guy, but then when he became the full dog, it just didn't work out. And I hope I'm wrong, but the Cowboys can't go into 25 with Rico as their main running back. They need to go younger, and they need to get better. To me, I said it for weeks, and like I said, either Trey Lance just really has to suck. I would have had Trey Lance be the quarterback from the start, just because when you lose your franchise quarterback, you're at a point of desperation, and you need to see if you got lightning in the bottle. And Trey Lance at least has the upside, talent-wise to do it. I don't know if he would have. We could have been worse. I mean, I don't know. But with Cooper Rush, you know what you're going to get. He's going to win some games. He's not going to win the games for you, but he's not going to lose them for you. And I don't want to say he lost this game for the Cowboys. I don't think he lost the game for the Cowboys, but he didn't win it, right? He played okay. He's not going to carry it. Like on that last drive, everyone and their brother knew they weren't going to win. I mean, he wasn't going to drive them down with a minute to go. That's not what he's going to do. He's going to keep the games close. And if he may pull out a win or something like that, but it's just, I would have went with Trey Lance from the beginning, but he must really suck. No, he did need the carries, and you see it. I talked about it, on the show this morning or before the game, is you see the difference. Like when it was running back by committee, yeah, he did. And his Penn State guy, of course, he's a Penn State guy naturally. But when you saw, Rico, you need carries, and everyone said it was the offensive line was bad. Well, now you've got backups in, you got all that. Maybe it wasn't the offensive line. Maybe it was the running back needs carries, because the offense feeds off that. The whole line, everything feeds off the running back of getting positive yards, and you're running the football with authority. It ends up being a positive thing. So that's where I definitely agree is you need to get, he needed the carries, and you see a huge difference. You see a huge difference between Rico and Zeke. I mean, Zeke's best days are behind him. He's a short yardage goal line guy at best now. And I think honestly with Zeke, I think he's just kind of resigned to the fact that he's not going to be in there. And I don't know how much he cares. I think he's pretty much done. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if I draft Gentry. I think he's a great running back. I just worry about tread on the tires. Parsons going to talk on ESPN. I have to check that out. He was devastated. He was devastated, and he was angry, and he was frustrated, and he had every damn right to be. All those guys did. And you don't want to put it on, I'm never one 27. I don't even want to try and pronounce his name. But he's a rookie, he's been that guy that's been up on the practice squad, up and down. And he made some decent plays in the secondary when Diggs or Bland was out and Diggs was hurt and stuff. So I don't want to crucify him. I mean, Leon Lett, that happened to in 92 is similar, except it was a field goal, but same thing. Don't touch the ball on a block kick. And he did. And it cost Dallas the game. Dallas never lost another game, went on to win the Super Bowl that year. Obviously, that's not going to happen here. But Jimmy Johnson didn't cut Leon Lett. And this kid's not Leon Lett by any stretch, but, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I blame the coaching the special teams coaching more, because that should have been reemphasized over and over and over when you're calling that. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I mean, instincts, and sometimes it takes over. But yep, he did it in 2021. Same thing. That was another one. That was another stupid play. And we seem to have a knack for it. And was that Fossil was a special teams coach too, I think, wasn't it? Coincidence? I don't know. I almost wonder if he was a special teams coach back in Dallas, and when it happened with Leon Lett. But I know that was the late great Joe Avazano, one of my favorite coaches of all time. But it's tough, guys, and this has been a tough year. It's been even tougher for me in the Cowboys cave. You try and bring that hype, you try and bring that energy, and it's been a challenging year. But you guys, the fans and Cowboys Nation, you guys, what's making it fun, man. I always say we're gonna get through this thing together. And it's been a trying year. It's tested our patience, it's tested our loyalty, and I still think there's a price that's going to be paid, with the coaching staff ultimately, and hopefully with Jerry realizing they're going to have to make some drastic change in the culture of what Jerry Jones does, to really change things with this team. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens if it does. But I know the team still supports McCarthy. I think McCarthy's a good football coach. I think he's a victim of the culture of the Cowboys, just like probably a lot of coaches that have been through this organization, post Landry, are victims of, and it is what it is. I don't know if it's going to get better, but we'll see. And yeah, Parsons is on now. Yeah, I don't have ESPN on where I'm at. I just took it off. But yeah, he's got to be terrible. I'm going to watch the replay of it. He's got to be just absolutely, distraught. And let me see if I can pull up the audio. Maybe I can get it here. But anyway, it's been a late night. It's been a rough night, and it is just. I thought we were going to win that game, man. I was confident we won the game. I bet on Dallas winning the game. Let's see if he's talking now. Is that in here? Let me see if I got it. No, let's see.
All today. I think we can win the game. Like, no anything more game was I cried. It's like my little bro. Like, he don't deserve that either. He really don't. So, just to understand what he's going to have to go through, and to be there for him physically, mentally, is just so challenging because he's so talented. The year he was having, I mean, dog, I really just don't think that's fair either.
That was Parsons, and I don't know if he was talking about Overshone or if he was talking about the number 27, because he's a Penn State guy, so I don't know if he was feeling bad for him. I caught it late, but I mean, Parsons you definitely see the emotion, you see, the pain, but it's a rough season, and BB was a concussion, so I think he'll be fine. Overshone, I think he might be done for the year. It did not look good. That was Overshone. So that's tough. It was tough. I caught it late, but it's a bad injury for Overshone. If it's a knee injury, was that the same knee? Do you guys know? Did they say, was it the same? Was it the same knee? He's asking to pray for him. You see that, and you look at like a Brooks. Who is it? The running back from Texas that a lot of people wanted the Cowboys. Different knee. I don't know. I think that might be a good thing. I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm no doctor, but maybe it's better that it's not the same knee. Then I'm seeing some people say the same. So I don't know. I'll let you guys figure it out. But it's it's shades of Sean Lee. Shades of LVE, But I was saying Brooks, he was a guy that a lot of people wanted the Cowboys to draft out of Texas, right? He had that knee injury, and he came back with the Panthers and blew out his knee again. So it's probably the end. For a running back, he'll never be the same, and he hasn't been the same since the knee injury. So it's just absolutely devastating for him, and I feel for Overshown. Prayers are obviously from all Cowboys Nation. I know everyone. I mean, his future and his talent is so bright, and he's got so much talent, and he's just such a difference maker on the field. He was one of those guys where, if you were legit, you took the names off and you were looking at film. I mean, he was having a Pro Bowl year. I mean, he should have been up there in the Pro Bowl because that's the kind of year he was having. Obviously, the Cowboys defense and the team not being good, you don't get that kind of accolade and you don't get that visibility, but he's a star. And I just pray that he'll be able to recover from it, because you just did not, you just don't like to see that with any player. You know what I say? And I know we give Eagle fans and we give the Eagles a hard time sometimes, and you wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it with my biggest rival. I would never want to see a player get hurt and be out there. But yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier. I mean, Parsons, sometimes when things are bad, that's when leadership really develops, and that's where your leadership can show, is in the down times. And what I would say about Parsons, he's taken a lot of shit from people. Let me just fix this camera. He's taken a lot of shit from people, with a podcast, or does he care? Is it this and that? But he cares. I mean, you watch the way he's played and you watch the way he's come back, and he didn't have to. He could have said, well, I'm still hurt. I'm going to take it easy. The team's, we're not going anywhere. But he came back, and he came back with a vengeance. And, so anyway, that's what I say. And yeah, I'm with you, man. That pump block, I said it earlier when I came on, I would have never called it, man. You got one of the best punt returners in the NFL, if not the best. You've got them pinned back where you're going to get the ball at decent field position with time on the clock, to where if you can't get in field goal range, you are going to go in overtime. And oh, by the way, you got the best long range kicker in the NFL, and you do that. And like I said, if they were going to call it, because think about what could have happened with that punt block. The one good thing is they could have blocked it. The bad thing is you could have got rough in the kicker if it didn't work out, rough in the punter, and they would have been a first down. You could have got the block punt like you did. Someone touches it, they get the ball back. There were so many things that could have went bad. There was only one that could have went good. And to me, like I say, risk reward, I was screaming, back off, just do a safe punt return. And when I saw them block it, I cheered, obviously. And then when I saw it block and go backwards to where it was going to go in the crowd, I said, someone's going to touch it. I knew it. And when it bounced and I saw 27 right there, I knew we were doomed, because the balls jumped going all over the place. He was never going to field it clean. And if he fielded it clean, someone was going to pop him, because there was guys right around him. So nothing good was going to come out of it. I don't know why they did it. And I think, to McCarthy's detriment, I think he puts too much faith in Fossil. And I think Fossil thinks he's better and smarter than the other coaches or than anyone else. And he likes to prove it. And that maybe I'm being way off base. Maybe I'm just being a hater on him or whatever, but I just seen it too much with him. And I'm old school. Maybe it's just risk reward. It's just, I've seen it happen where they get rough in the kicker, rough in the punter, because they get too aggressive. And it's like, dude, you're going to get the ball back. Just be happy and get the ball back, and let Turpin see if he can make some. If not, you got over 2 minutes just to get in field goal range, and shit, man. You just need to get to the 45 to give Aubrey a very makeable shot in his eyes. and you can almost get to the 48 to make it one of his longest ones. So I just it'll never make sense to me why. And I'd love to hear McCarthy, but he won't really say it, what the thought process and why they would do a punt block call where it is. And like I said, if you do it, you better know damn well that everyone on that field knows not to touch it. Now, I thought, maybe I'm wrong, I thought 27 was just called up. So I don't know how much they practice it. I don't know how much he's involved in it. I know they had some injuries and they were bringing people up, and you had, Goodwin was out. You had some special teams guys that got hurt that play special teams that weren't in the game. So I'm not sure the whole dynamics of it. Obviously, I'm not on the field and I'm not a coach, but yeah, Jerry should be heated with Jerry. Absolutely. He was just called up. That's what I thought. So, I mean, I know he's been up and down and he's been on the roster. So like I said, I don't know how much he's been coached on it. But still you're in the heat of the moment. Things like that can happen. Like I said, with Leon Lett, it was a block kick, but it was the same type of thing, man. Just get out of the way, you win the game. And there was no guarantee Dallas was going to win, but if he got out of the way, they were in field goal range. I mean, Cincinnati had their timeout, so they arguably could have stopped us and got the ball back, and maybe it would have been field goal for field goal. You don't know. You don't know. I'm not gonna be able to predict it, but it was absolutely, it's gut wrenching as a fan. And I know for the people that already worried about the draft, they might have been happy. Now that being said, at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and piss and moan about the game for a week. It is what it is. This team kind of, maybe it helps their draft position, fine, but I don't care where you draft if you don't draft the right guy. I mean, how many top 10 guys do you see drafted that aren't even in the NFL or they're sitting on a bench? I mean, we got one and a quarterback that was drafted third overall, and he can't even beat out Cooper Rush. I mean, you watch Cooper Rush play, and I just find it hard to believe that Trey Lance can't be better than Cooper Rush. I mean, really? He must really be bad, or we got someone making bad decisions, whether it's Jerry making that call or McCarthy. I don't know. So, but anyway, it is what it is, man. We're going to have to get over it. I will be in Carolina. So any of you guys that are going to be out there, hopefully we'll get to see you. We're going to have a nice tailgate party. Have a good time. I know Cuts is going to be out there. Doug's going to be out there. The crew's going to be out there. I know a lot of the guys that I met up with last time I was out in Carolina, all great guys. Too many to name. Otherwise, I'll leave someone out, and I don't want to do that. But you guys know who you are. I can't wait to hang out with you guys. And then I'll be back for my last game at AT&T Sunday night, Tampa, Dallas. It's going to be a fun weekend. Going to get in on Friday, taking the wife to the game and some friends. So we're going to make a long weekend out of it before the Christmas holidays. And then your boy, from that point, he's on vacation till New Year's. And then obviously a playoff, college football is getting started with the playoffs. That's going to be a lot of fun. And, even though the Cowboys aren't going to be in the playoffs more than likely, McCain's didn't make the playoffs. I love this month from December into January is my favorite time of year with football, because every week matters, every game matters. There's so many games that teams are playing for their playoff lives, and then you get the playoffs coming in. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to be doing it in the cave. I mean, I love my Cowboys, but I like talking other stuff too. So we'll continue to talk football through the playoffs. We'll get you through everything. We'll get you through the off season. I'm no draft guru, but I know a lot of guys in our chat are big draft guys. So maybe we'll talk some of them to come in on the cave and share some of their knowledge with the draft and let us know who can help this team, who can we have. So, but anyway, so it is what it is. And I did. Yes. Okay. The wager, it don't bother me. I mean, I bet on the Cowboys every year. I do certain bets, and I did a 2 parlay, and all it was CD and Chase getting over 100 yards or more. Chase obviously got it. CD had 71 yards. going into after the first quarter, and he couldn't even get over 100. He couldn't even get over 100. So I lost that one. And then I had the anytime touchdown, and I needed Rico to get a touchdown. So I missed that one. But it would have been $20 worth of bets for $380. So that's where I'm telling you guys, I bet value. I try and bet. I don't bet big dollars, but I bet on what can give me the biggest return. $10 into 120. I mean, to me, Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb was worth a shot. Didn't work out. But I love that stuff. I love doing that stuff. So anyway, and I wish I could have bet on I wish I could bet in tech. Yeah, I when I bring my app there, I can't bet. It's bullshit. So I'm gonna have to get my college games bet quickly. I just wish I would have bet that. The guy wanted to bet national championship, but someone wanted to bet me on the Texas game, and I knew they were gonna lose to Georgia. But you know, it is what it is. And I don't hate Texas. I give some people a hard time because they give my Canes a hard time. So it's just turnabout is fair play. So if you give me a hard time, I got to give your team a hard time back. And that's the beauty of having the microphone in the show. I could just keep saying it. You guys are typing it, but I can say it. So that's what I love to say. So anyway, I'm going to get to bed because it's now midnight and your boy's got to get up at 5 a.m. to go to work and get things done. But hey, I just wanted to thank you guys, man. Let me vent. This was probably one of the most frustrating losses I've had in a long time as a Cowboys fan. And some will say, geez, Mike, the Packer game, that had to be the most frustrating. That was the most disappointing. That was over before it started. This was a game that I just felt so good about this team. And then the heart that they showed and everything that you saw, I was like, all right, they're going to get things going. And it just got ripped out. So I know what it feels like to get your heart ripped out. So Washington Commanders, I feel your pain. Eagles, I feel your pain. Thankfully, it wasn't for a Super Bowl or for anything like that. But this one sucked. This one sucked. Yeah, they should legalize gambling in every state. I just don't. If you can go out to war defending your country, you should be able to gamble your money that you want to gamble on. Make it 21. I have no problem with that. Even though 18 wouldn't bother me, but if it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that it's not legal. So anyone, it's not tempering expectations. It's not tempering expectations. We go in to win. When they play the Panthers, I'm going in there to win next week. I don't watch the TV and hope we lose. The Cowboys easily should have won that game. They could have easily lost it too. I'm not going to say they dominated the game, but that was a winnable game. That was a winnable game for them, and it didn't work out for them. It was disappointing on that play, but I'll say this, and I'll just leave it at this with you guys. And again, thank you. Hit that subscribe, like, and share. Go over to YouTube if you're watching me on Twitter, and just hit that subscribe button. Show your boys some love. I still want to give away some tickets, but I got to get to 5,000 subscribers. So next season we get to 5,000. I'm going to give some seats away. But the thing I'll always say is this team shows heart. This team shows fight. This team has not quit and haven't shown quit through all the adversity, everything that's happened. So as a fan, whether you want them to win or lose, whether your team tank or not, you have to be proud of the fact that what you're watching is not a team that quit. It's not the Giants. It's not some of these other teams that have just kind of folded in. I'd even say the Panthers are showing fight. They're another team. That gives you hope for next year to say, you know what? We had our injuries, but our core group, they're people who give a shit. And there's going to be people that go on. The roster changes 25 to 30% every year. You're going to get fresh people in here, and hopefully they bring some fresh people in that can build off of that and that want to win, and you continue to build off it. Because I'll say it, this team has talent. This team has a lot of talent. This team just needs leadership, which I think you're starting to see with Micah Parsons. And when times are down, you're seeing him develop into that leadership role. And, they just got to get luck on their side too, man. Winning Super Bowls and all that, you've got to have luck on your side. And sometimes you got to create your own luck, but they're going to have to figure it out. But it's frustrating. I agree. Holy Terra. But I appreciate all the support. You guys get some sleep. Don't be aggravated. Don't be aggravated too much anyway. It was a fun game, but it was disappointing at the same time, and just the way it ended just absolutely ripped it out. So you guys have a good evening. I appreciate the love. hit that subscribe, like, and share. I'll be live on Wednesday with Kelly K9. We're going to figure this thing out. And where do you go from here? And just kind of, this is therapy session. That's what we do, man. It's Cowboys Cave. It's for all you guys that are big Cowboys fans. This is a place that you can come hang out. We can chop it up. We can shoot the shit. We can agree to disagree, all that kind of fun stuff. It's a lot of fun. Maybe we'll take some calls on Wednesday to just kind of let some things air out. And where do we go from here? Do you want to see Trey Lance in the game? You want to just say, hey, last 4 games? I mean, not that it matters, but because I don't think the Cowboys are going to re-sign him anyway. But maybe it'll just piss you off more if he ends up with 4 straight really good performances. Then it'll just really get people mad and even madder at Jerry. So anyway, I appreciate it. You guys take care. Thank you. Have a good night. Sleep tight. And hopefully better days ahead for our Dallas Cowboys. Peace.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.